What's going on, guys? It's Matt Deeks here with another video. Appreciate you guys dropping by. Now, I've been grinding a ton of Siege mode in Space Marine 2 lately, and while I do think it is fun, there are some additions and changes that I believe personally would make this mode go from fun to flat out legendary. If that's something you want to hear, guys, then stay tuned and let's get into it. Let's get started with number 5. So boss encounters. You can't have a true siege mode without big climactic battles. Right now, the mode just ramps up by throwing more and more enemies at you. And don't get me wrong, it's fun, but after a while, it feels like the same thing over and over again, and it gets boring. What would make the mode really pop is proper boss encounters, similar to like a decapitation operation, exfiltration, or even the new vortex. Picture this, you're on wave 15, the announcer calls out some ominous warning, and suddenly a Chaos Champion stomps into the arena, swinging a massive demon weapon, or maybe a Tyrannid monstrosity, something the size of a hive tyrant. Barrels in and forces your squad just to scramble, focus fire, and just work as an absolute squad, alright? These bosses could even come with phases. Break their armor first, survive an ad wave, whatever, then finish the fight. It would turn siege mode into more than just survival. It would make each big wave a moment your squad remembers. It's those stories, it's those checkpoints, it's those holy crap we actually beat it moments that make people coming back. Let's move on to number 4 now, better rewards. Now let's talk about rewards. So siege mode is fun, but it takes a lot of time. And honestly, the rewards just don't feel like they match the effort. When you put in an hour-long run and all you walk away with is some XP and maybe a basic unlock, it can feel underwhelming. What would make siege mode so much more addictive is exclusive rewards. I'm talking cosmetics you can only earn here. Banners, armor trims, weapon skins, and maybe even new voice lines or animations. That way, when you see someone in multiplayer or operations or stratagems, whatever, rocking exclusive siege mode looks, you instantly know that person put in the work. On top of that, XP scaling should feel more generous. Longer runs should really push your progression forward. And I think milestone rewards, like hitting wave 10, 20, or even 30, for example, could drop unique items to keep you grinding. Right now, the fun of siege mode carries, but the reward structure needs to match the time commitment. Alright guys, so for number 3, real siege mechanics. Here's where I think the mode could really live up to its name. At the moment, siege plays more like a survival horde mode. Enemies spawn all over, you fight them off, rinse and repeat. But think about it. Think about what an actual siege feels like. You're holding the line, protecting walls, and desperately trying to keep your defenses intact. I'd love to see siege mode add more of these elements. Give us choke points we need to hold, fortifications we can repair, or cannons we have to defend. Imagine protecting a massive artillery piece that's firing on the enemy fleet while waves trying to take it out, or holding a fortress gate until reinforcements arrive. That's what would make it feel like you're in the middle of a true Warhammer siege. It's the difference between just blasting away endlessly and actually fighting with purpose. That added layer of defense, objectives, and positioning would make matches feel less like chaos and more like an epic last stand. Number 2, smarter enemy waves. Enemy variety is another big one. Right now, waves in siege mode can get predictable. You know where they spawn, you kind of know what's coming, and you just mow them down. But what if the enemies were smarter and more dynamic? I'd love to see elite squads that work together, like chaos units that push as a group with a shielded leader, or Tyrannids that flank around and try to overwhelm you from the sides. They could even add mid-wave objectives to keep you on your toes, like a spore mine spawning on the edge of the map that you have to take out before it completely floods the entire battlefield. This kind of variety would stop siege mode from feeling repetitive and instead make every run a new challenge. You wouldn't just rely on the same strategy over and over again. You'd have to adapt, communicate with your squad, and react to whatever the game throws at you. And honestly, that unpredictability is what keeps players hooked long term. Alright, so my number 1 on the list is buyable defenses between waves. If I can choose anything on this list to add, it would be this. Give us meaningful downtime between waves. Right now, those 40 whatever seconds they are before the next wave, it really doesn't do much. You just reload, you buy some stuff, and you wait. Or you start the round earlier. But what if you could actually prepare the battlefield? What if you had a few minutes? Now, picture this. You earn your rewards, your resources while you fight, right? Like we usually do. But in between waves, you can spend them on things like mines, turrets, even barricades. Your squad could strategize where to place them. Maybe you line a choke point with explosives or set up heavy turrets to cover a spawn path. Suddenly, the prep phase becomes just as important as the actual combat itself. This would turn Siege into a true tactical experience. You're not just reacting, you're planning, laying traps, setting the stage for the next onslaught. And when it all comes together, the mines go off, the turrets start shredding, and your squad holds the line. It would feel incredible. That's the essence of a real siege, not just endless fighting, but smart preparation and defenses. It would add a whole new layer of depth and make siege mode stand out from every other horde mode out there. And that's it, guys. Those are my top 5 changes I think Siege Mode needs to become something truly legendary. Personally, I think adding buyable defenses between waves would completely change the game, but all 5 of these would make Siege Mode way more intense, rewarding, and replayable. What do you guys think? Did I nail it? Or is there another change you'd put at the top of the list? Let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear your takes. And as always, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe for more Space Marine 2 content, and if you want to support the channel a little further, join the community and become a member. With that being said, guys, I'll see you on the next one. Cheers.